njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao hajasawa wamezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeant, ring the quorum bell.
Well, earlier on, we just aired a recap of the debate by members of the National Assembly, a debate with regards to the challenges that are recently witnessed in the rollout of the National Health Insurance Fund, if you like, SHIF, or the Social Health Authority, commonly referred to as SHA. It is a debate that took place on the Tuesday sitting with regards to the issues that need urgent attention to restore normalcy in the health sector. These were issues that were raised by the members of Parliament, and the recap was done by none other than the Parliamentary Media Relations Officer Muremi Mwangi, which just aired before the commencement of the House business. But back to what the members will be transacting this afternoon, even as we wait for the quorum to be achieved. At least 50 members need to be inside the chambers, pursuant to the House Standing Order number 34. Members, as you can see, that is the entrance of the chambers. Members making their way into the chambers. This is Kaloleni, Member of Parliament, who has just walked in, Honorable Paul Katana. And of course, we are waiting to see more members. Remember, the prayer has been said and the chair has been taken. But if the House does not correct, then that means that a quorum bell has to be rung, at least to give room for the members who may be within the precincts of Parliament, but yet to make their way into the chambers, to do that for the House to commence its business. Earlier on, I had indicated to you that the members of National Assembly this afternoon are expecting to engage the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport, Davis Chirchir. Before we go back to look at the questions that the members will be seeking responses to, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44, paragraph 2C, there is a statement here that will be requested from the ministry or the relevant ministry. So back to what the members this afternoon, if the Cabinet Secretary. All right, that is the Sergeant at Arms, and as is the tradition, once the quorum is achieved, that is just a signal to the clerk and the speaker that the quorum has been achieved. More members are still making their way into the chambers. So allow me to hand you over.
Honorable members, on their feet, take your seats. Order, honorable members, take your seats. Honorable members have a communication to make. on the committal of different provisions of the Business Laws Amendment Bill 2024 to various departmental committees. Honorable members, the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024, sponsored by the leader of the majority party, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, AGH-MP, was read a first time during today's morning sitting. The bill seeks to amend 9 acts of parliament, namely the Banking Act, Cap 488, the Central Bank Act, Cap 491, the Microfinance Act, Cap 493, the Standards Act, Cap 496, the Kenya Accreditation Service Act, Cap 496A, the Scrap Metal Act, Cap 503, the Special Economic Zones Act, Cap 517A, the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute Act, Cap 511A, and the National Electronic Single Window System Act, Cap 485D. Honorable members, Standing Order 127.1 provides that a bill having been read a first time shall stand committed to the relevant departmental committee without question put, despite the said provisions provides, and I quote, save for a finance bill, the Speaker may refer various provisions of a bill proposing to amend more than one statute in its principal provisions to the relevant departmental committees in accordance with their mandates. Honorable members, I therefore direct that the various provisions of the bill stand committed to the departmental committees for consideration and public participation as follows. The Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning will deal with the provisions of the bill relating to the Banking Act, Cap 488, the Central Bank Act, Cap 491, and the Microfinance Act, Cap 493C. The Departmental Committee on Trade, Industry, and Cooperatives will deal with the provisions of the bill relating to the Standards Act, Cap 496, the Kenya Accreditation Service Act, Cap 496A, the Scrap Metal Act, Cap 503, the Special Economic Zones Act, Cap 517A, the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute Act, Cap 511A, and the National Electronic Single Window System Act, Cap 485D. Honorable members, I further direct that the lead committee on this bill, for purposes of consolidating the portions, will be the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. The two committees should move expeditiously, undertake public participation on their respective portions of the bill. Thereafter, the lead committee is expected to table a consolidated report in the House prior to commencement of second reading. Thank you. Next.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable members, I have a message from His Excellency the President on nomination of persons for appointment to constitutional commissions and other state offices. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42.1, I wish to report to the House that I've received 5 messages from His Excellency the President relating to nomination of the persons the following state offices. A, Chairperson and members of the Board of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA. B, Chairperson and members of the Commission on Administration of Justice, CAJ. C, Chairperson and members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC. D, Chairperson and a member of the National Gender and Equality Commission, NGEC. And E, Second Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. In the first message, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred under Section 115 of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority Act 2011, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, he nominates A, Mr. Ahmed Isaac Hassan CBS as the chairperson of the board of IPOA. B, the following as members of IPOA board: Ms. Anne Wanjiku Mwangi, Dr. Micah Onyego Nyakego, Mr. Boniface Kipkemboi Samati, Dr. Annette Mbogo, Honorable John Mushiri Nyaga, Mr. Ken Williams Nyakyomita, and Ms. Jacqueline Lukalo Mwenesi. Honorable members, the second message. In the second message, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred by Article 250 of the Constitution and Section 116 of the Commission on Administration of Justice Act 2011, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, he nominates the following persons for appointment to the respective offices in the Commission on Administration of Justice: Mr. Charles Orinda Dulo, Chairperson; Honorable Charles Njagwa Kanyi, Member; Ms. Dorothy Jemator Kimengich, Member. In the third message, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred by Article 230 and 250 of the Constitution and Section 710 of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Act 2011, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, he nominates A. Sami Chepkwony as the chairperson of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and B, the following as members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to represent various institutions as indicated: Ms. Jane Gataka Njage, a nominee of the Teacher Service Commission; Major General Retired Martin Kizito Ongoi, CBS, nominee of the Defense Council; Mr. Mohammed Aden Abdi, nominee of the Senate on behalf of county governments; Dr. Gilda Odera, nominee of the Federation of Kenya Employers; Dr. Geoffrey Apollo Omondi, nominee of the Central Organization of Trade Unions, KOTU; and Mr. Leonid Ashindu, nominee of the Association of Professional Societies in East Africa, APSEA. In the fourth message, honorable members, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred by Article 250 of the Constitution and Section 116 of the National Gender and Equality Commission Act 2012, as read together with Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, he has nominated Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa and Mr. Michael Mbithuka Nzomo, PWD, for appointment as the chairperson and member of the National Gender and Equality Commission, respectively. In the fifth message, honorable members, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of powers conferred by Section 13B of the Central Bank of Kenya Act Cap 491, as read together with Section 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, he nominates Mr. Gerald Nyaoma Arita to the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya. Honorable members, His Excellency the President now therefore seeks the approval of the House on the nominees for appointment to the aforementioned positions. Standing Order 45 provides that upon receipt of notification of nomination for appointments, such nomination shall stand committed to the relevant departmental committee of the House for consideration. In this regard, honorable members, I hereby refer the message from His Excellency the President together with the CVs, the reports of the respective selection panels, and that of the Public Service Commission for the case of the nominee to the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank on Administration and Internal Security. Chairperson and members of the Commission on Administrative Justice to the Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs. Chairperson and members of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to the Committee on Labor. chairperson and member of the National Gender and Equality Commission, the Committee on Social Protection, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, the Finance and National Planning Committee, joint consideration with the counterpart committee in the Senate. Honorable members, noting the need to expeditiously conclude the approval hearings and given the calendar of the House, I direct the committees to immediately commence the approval processes, notify the nominees and the general public of the time and place for holding the approval hearings, and thereafter, upon conclusion, table their respective reports on or before 26th of November 2024 to enable the House to consider the matter within the statutory timelines. I thank you. Next.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, November 13, 2024, afternoon sitting. Reports of the Auditor General and Financial Statement for the year ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein respect of number 1, Affordable Housing Finance Project, IBRD, credit number 8958-KE, National Assembly. Number 2, Kenya Symbiosity Program, CEDA, number 51110060, Council of Governors. Number 3, ADB Africa Climate Summit Project, the National Treasury. Number 4, Eastern Africa Regional Transport, Trade and Development Facilitation, IDA credit number 5638KE, Kenya Revenue Authority. Number 5, Technical Support Program Financing Agreement number KE/FED/2009/2/021 021 number KE/FED/023/733 and number KE/FED/037/941, National Treasury. Number 6, Microfinance Sector Support Credit Project, credit number CKE 300401E and CKE 601001E, National Treasury. And number 7, National Information Platform for Food Security and Nutrition Project, credit number food/2017/393/022, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you. The Chair Labour. Chair Labour Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 13th November 2024. Report of the Departmental Committee on Labor on its consideration of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next, Chair Education. Meli.
As member for Luanda.
Maungu is your assistant.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, the Wednesday, 13th November 2024. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Education on its consideration of 1, the Universities Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2023. 2, the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2023. 3, Universities Amendment Bill number 3, National Assembly Bill number 64 of 2023. 4, Universities Amendment number 5, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 79 of 2023. And 5, Universities Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader, is the Minister for Roads coming this afternoon? Okay, before we get there, let's go to order number 8. Yes, Oundo?
Honorable Speaker, I don't know whose mistake it is. Neither I was in the table office a few minutes ago. The responses that the minister is coming to give, we have not had the opportunity to have copies in advance so that we can read, understand, and be in a good position to ask questions and even allow whatever you call, to also ask rejoinder questions. Is it possible we could facilitate through your office, we get responses so that we can look at them before the minister takes the podium? We would request, we are requesting, Speaker.
Okay, Clerk, I think, Honorable Oundo, we can deal with that on a need basis. There are certain questions which once the minister answers, the questioner can raise a supplementary relating to the adequacy of the answer. But if you need to get some written answer, the clerk will facilitate. You can see the clerk at the table. Order, honorable members, call out order number 8.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of the mediated version of the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022, question to be put.
Order, honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Sirma, take your seat. Honorable Kaluma, take your seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 113 of 32 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, Order Ngong. Order. I repeat. I put the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Article 1132 of the Constitution and Standing Order 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th November 2024, and approves the mediated version of the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bill number 55 of 2022. As members of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. We'll go back to questions. Do we have any request for statements? Yes. Honorable Namwar, you indicated that you're dropping your request for a statement, right?
Most guided, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Majority Leader, Honorable Namwar tells me that the statement he was requesting was adequately dealt with by the visit of His Excellency the President to his county. So he's dropped it. Thank you for saving our time and acknowledging that your issues have been addressed. Let's go to questions now. Can you bring in the minister? Namwar. Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. I have a pending statement that has not been resolved. to date, Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker.
See the clerks at the table or the table of office
There
so
was,
that it can be put on the order paper tomorrow.
there was a ruling that you had been able to make before regarding KWS issue with the fishermen in Sibiloi. You had resolved that we have a committee, some kind of a multi-sector committee to look at the issue, and up to date, the issue was brought in June. Up to now, when you had made a ruling, nothing has been able to be processed, Honorable Speaker.
I advise you, Honorable Namwar, to see the clerk at the table so that they can bring to the attention of the speaker the issue that you are raising. Okay, Majority Leader, can you bring in your minister? Honorable members, the CS for Roads and Transport is in the house to respond to your questions. Clerk, I have received communication from two members, Honorable Kili Daniel Carrido, to defer his question, and Honorable Paul Musimi Zengu to defer their questions, so when we reach them, you skip them. Honorable Chirchir, welcome to the House, and honorable members, as we always do, the questioner asks his or her question. I'll allow one joyrider to each question. Question 167 of 2023, member for Baringo Central, Joshua Kandie. Joshua Kandie is not in the house. Pardon? You cannot stand in for him unless there's a written request to the speaker. Question deferred. Question 168 of 2023, member for Mwingi, that one is deferred. Question 178, member for Kinango, the Honorable Gonzi Rai. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask question number 178 to 2023.
I had skipped one page. We have two questions by private notice. The first one by Wakili Mureu. We'll start with the questions by private notice. Wakili Mureu, that is question 013 of 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to seek for answer to question 13, so 2024. And I start with question number 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide the current status of any negotiations for a concession agreement between the government and the Adani Group regarding the management of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? The second question, Speaker, state the details of any consultations and public participation engagements that have been undertaken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport regarding this matter in line with Article 10 of the Constitution. Number 3, clarify whether there is full compliance with provisions of Article 10(2) of the Constitution on the principles of governance, including but not limited to upholding good governance, integrity, transparency, and accountability in the discussions on the proposed transfer of management of JKA. And the fourth question, confirm that in accordance with provisions of Article 35 of the Constitution, publishing and publicization of all information relating to the proposed agreement between the government and Adani was affected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Happy to be in the House this afternoon to respond to the various questions and to be quick and specific to Wakili Mureu's Mheshimiwa's question on Adani and whether to provide the current status of any negotiations for concession agreement. Chair, I want to confirm that all engagements between the government of Kenya and Adani have been suspended by a court order issued on 9 September 2024 in HCJR E199/2024, Kenya Human Rights Commission and Law Society of Kenya, Kenya Airports Authority, and 4 others. The court issued a conservatory order prohibiting any persons from implementing or further implementing or acting on the privately initiated proposal for the development and operation of JKI by Adani Holdings Limited, pending the hearing and determination of this application by the court. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, members, there is no concession agreement that has been executed between the government of Kenya and Adani. And as I answer the following questions, I'll be seeking to get the honorable members, Speaker, to appreciate the process of concessioning a PIP. And we'll just stop midway ahead of developing and signing the concession agreement. And so we are going through the court process and using that as a public participation process to ensure that we do provide all the information and ensure that all Kenyans are fully appraised on this new investment platform that will bring in foreign investment and help us to grow some of our infrastructure that we need to develop. Honorable Speaker, on the members on the second question, which is to state the details of any consultation and public participation engagements that have been undertaken. At the time when we got the halt, we had a program of stakeholder engagement, and we had already had formal engagement with the Kenya Airports Authority senior management stakeholders on the 15th of August 2024 at JKI head office boardroom, which was properly scheduled. We'd had engagements with the KAA JKIA section heads stakeholders engagement meeting, which was held on 19th August 2024, also at JKIA Courage Rooftop Conference Room. We had JKIA staff engagement meeting held on 20th August 2024 at JKIA Presidential Pavilion. We had held engagements with Kenya Aviation Workers Union, CAU stakeholders engagement meeting, which was held on 20th August 2024 at JKIA Conference Room. Kenya Civil Aviation Authority stakeholders engagement meeting, which we held on 26th August 2024 at KCAA headquarters. We'd also had engagements, Speaker, honorable members, at the Kenya with the Kenya Airways Stakeholders Engagement Meeting held on 26th August 2024 at Kenya Airways Headquarters Pride Center, Embakasi. We had engagement with JKIA concessionaires, retailers, and all business owners engagements in a meeting we held on 28 August 2024 at Eka Hotel. We had engagement with Kenya Associations of Air Operators in a meeting held on 29 August 2024 at 4 Point by Sheraton Airport, Nairobi. And finally, with engagements with JKIA Airline, Air Operators, ground handlers, GOK agencies, cargo engagement meetings, which was held on 30th August 2024 at Amara Ole Sereni. Honorable Speaker, the public participation plan was to be developed. However, this process, like I said, has been put on hold following the conservatory orders issued by the Honorable Court in judicial review case number HCJR/E199/2024, which has in turn suspended the implementation of the proposed project. And on the clarification on whether there is full compliance with the provision of Article 10(2) of the Constitution on the principles of governance, including but not limited to upholding good governance, integrity, transparency, accountability. In the discussions on the proposed transfer of management of JKIA, Honorable Speaker, there has been full compliance until we were stopped. The concessioning through a PIP is a process. It's not like the PPDA or the public procurement and disposal system. It's a whole process. And there has been, I want to confirm, compliance with Article 10(2) of the Constitution and strict adherence to the Public-Private Partnership Act and guidelines issued by the Public-Private Partnership Directorate and Committee. Good governance, Honorable Speaker, integrity, transparency, and accountability has been adhered to through the conduct of due diligence, which has revealed that, like we found out up to the time where we got the orders, that Adani has not been debarred by any country. There has not been engagement in acts of corruption that we so far found it on due diligence. Is not insolvent, is tax compliant in all jurisdictions in which it has local tax presence, is not a default on payment of social security and employment benefits, and its directors or officers have not been convicted of any criminal offense related to professional conduct within a period of 5 years preceding the submission of the proposal, and have not otherwise been disqualified pursuant to administrative suspension or debarment proceeding. Speaker, honorable members, furthermore, the privately initiated proposal has been subjected to evaluation and analysis by numerous government agencies, including the PPP Directorate, the National Treasury, and the transaction advisor duly qualified. Therefore, the process of considering the proposal by Adani at the point where we had reached has been rigorous and with strictly following the due process set by law. On the confirmation, Speaker, honorable members, that in accordance with the provision of Article 35 of the Constitution with respect to publishing and publication of all information relating to proposal and agreements between government and Adani, let me confirm, honorable members, Speaker, that all relevant information concerning the said project has been disclosed to almost all the stakeholders. And like I said, we continue to use the court process as a public participation process because the documents are out there. The documents were submitted to Senate when they requested us for those documents. Disclosure of information is also being undertaken within the ambit of the existing case that has been filed in court, like I've mentioned. Speaker, honorable members, that is the response on the provision of information under Article 35. on the notice, on the question to provide a comprehensive report on the statistics. Sorry, I think I'm done on the Adani. Speaker, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I am extremely surprised by the Cabinet Secretary assertion that Adani has no corruption case anywhere in the world, has been compliant with taxes in where they have local jurisdiction of paying taxes. Because, Mr. Speaker, and there are documents which I can be able to submit before the House, Adani has been barred from doing business in Australia. It has been barred from doing business in India, purely for the same reason we're talking about. Therefore, I think here, Mr. Speaker, the facts which have been asserted by the Cabinet Secretary are not correct, and I think they might need to get further and proper details. However, Mr. Speaker, this matter is before the court, and now maybe since we cannot be able to discuss in much in detail, but I think I just wanted to raise that issues which are not factual, which I would like the Cabinet Secretary to just confirm, and I'll submit these papers before the House. Nevertheless, I do not wish to have this matter discussed further because it is in court, and therefore, but for purposes of record, I'll be able to submit this record before the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair will have to look at those papers. Yes, yes, David Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to be able to guide the House, it's very important that when assertions are made by a member, they must actually prove it. And the only way to get correct information is to get the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to write to those countries' Ministry of Foreign Affairs and receive a confirmation that those allegations that you're making are indeed true. Because the precedent we are setting in the country is we are going to scare away public-private partnership. We're going to scare away investors from Kenya. Because if we do not have money as a country, the only other way to fund infrastructure programs in the country is through public-private partnerships. And so we cannot, as leaders, be the ones scaring away investors. So I think he should be given a timeline within which to confirm that information to the public through the official channels, not by his own rumor mongering and statements.
Pass on your documents to the clerk for the Speaker to look at. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I had wanted the Honorable Mureu to table, because he said he is tabling something. He should, as a matter of fact, table the documents but not show us WhatsApp messages. Because now what Honorable Speaker is referring are things I can see him just Googling from his phone. Honorable Speaker, you know, we cannot always treat this House as if we are...
Order, Majority Leader. Honorable Mureu, you said, as a matter of fact, that you have papers.
That he can table.
But
Yes,
I can
he should
see you
table.
walking to the clerk with your phone. So which papers do you have to table? Because even what is on your phone can be printed and be...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think electronic documents, we are at the age of information. And the only, Mr. Speaker, what I just need to do is to have it printed and give it to the clerk.
That is exactly
However, Mr.
what
Speaker,
I have said.
Yes, I have it over here. I have the report, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important also, as we talk about the benefits of PPP, transparency is most important. This issue...
Order, Honorable Mureu, you are now making a speech. I just told you, if you have documents, as you said you do have, if you have them electronically, go to the table office, print them, and table them for any member to look at. Yes, and it will not be at your cost at all. It's at the cost of Parliament. Yes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, beg that we either redact from the Hansard, because, Honorable Speaker, what the Honorable Mureu had said that he has documents that he can table, because clearly he had no documents to table. Honorable Speaker, I was just telling Honorable Mureu here, no, it's different when you are discussing matters at Kirwara Market from the House. The House, you have to come and debate
with facts, not the way we debate in our marketplaces. And Honorable Speaker, because what we tend to do many a times are to make political statements for the gallery. Because we know we are on national TV, we want to be quoted in the evening news that you have evidence, but you have not tabled any evidence, and therefore must be on the Hansard and in the records of this House that the Honorable Mureu has tabled no evidence of either Adani being debarred from doing business in Australia and all the other countries he named. But Honorable Speaker, back to my question to the Cabinet Secretary. And I had wished that's what Honorable Mureu would dwell on, because the questions in the minds of Kenyans is that Adani Group was said to have initiated a privately initiated PPP proposal. We would want to know, and Kenyans would want to know, are there other investors from any other part of the world that may have had other proposals that the Kenya Airports Authority was considering together with that of Adani? Because the questions Kenyans have been asking is whether there has been transparency, whether there has been openness in the manner in which the Kenya Airports Authority and the concerned ministry has dealt with this question of Adani. And I had hoped that the Honorable Mureu would take the Cabinet Secretary to task to explain to Kenyans what measures they took to inform Kenyans whether there have been other prior proposals from other countries, from other airline management companies, from any other part of the world.
Ask your question.
Honorable Speaker, therefore, I would want to hear whether the Cabinet Secretary can tell us, have there been other proposals that were being considered together with this one for Adani? Because what we have heard in the media is what probably you hear many people quote. But we would want to hear from you, are there other proposals that you have considered? And this Adani one that you tell us now is in court, how far had it gone in terms of your engagements with Adani? Had it moved to the point where you are now discussing a concession, or are you just considering the PIP proposal from Adani? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oundo.
Honorable Speaker, let me direct my question to the Cabinet Secretary. We passed here the Framework Act, the Principal Act, and it has got very clear stages and steps to be taken before you implement a PP. Probably the minister could be gracious enough to tell us whether the entire steps that were proposed and contemplated in the Act were ever followed to the letter, to a point they even go to the point of almost signing the agreement, and whether the law was followed as provided for in the law and the regulations. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, thank you. Honorable Ichungwa's question is regarding whether we had another privately initiated proposal in respect to JKIA. Honorable Speaker, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal in respect to concessioning of JKIA. Honorable members, to run through a PIP, you will need to have done a feasibility study, and it is a serious submission. It is not a piece of letter. So when you submit a privately initiated proposal, it is a very well done piece of work, having looked at the whole scope of the proposal and what needs to be done. So with respect to that, honorable members, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal by any concessionaire in respect to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport concessioning, or even under PPP, we don't. With respect to Oundo's question, Mheshimiwa Oundo, the PPP, like I said, is not, the process is articulated from the time when you submit. It goes through the due process in line with the PPP Act, which includes PPP approval by the PPP committee, project development phase and feasibility study, the evaluation process of the feasibility study report, the PPP committee approval of the feasibility study, the procurement of a technical assistant, and PPP committee consideration and approval of the negotiated outcome. And at the time when we got the court, when it went to court, we were at the time drafting and negotiating a concession agreement, looking at some of the technical issues like the return on equity, the debt equity ratio, the value for money, and so on and so forth. So that is where we were. But like I said, we had also gone through the due process and we were about to finalize the public engagement. So, honorable members, that is when we got the orders, and like I did indicate, we are using this time to ensure that we communicate and we do provide information to Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Basil.
Thank you, Speaker. My supplementary is actually tied to what Ondo asked. Can the CS tell us whether JKI was operating at a loss for it to be considered for privatization?
CS.
Thank you, honorable members. With respect to JKI, JKI in its audited accounts makes a profit of 4 billion annually. 4 billion annually. As we are aware of the state of JKI, the fact that we need a new airport, we have really overutilized in terms of the traffic and the population of persons we receive at JKI, and the investment at JKI is in the tune of 200 billion. So when you're talking about an investment, Speaker, honorable members, of 200 billion, and your bottom line is 4 billion, and the fiscal headroom for an asset which is 100% owned by government requires that kind of investment. The only route to go is the PPP route, where we bring in foreign investment through PPP. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mwenje. I want to move to the next question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a quick one. In light of this transaction with Adani, perhaps the Cabinet Secretary can just explain to us what happened with the deal that existed with Kenya Airways and JKIA, which we got the feeling that it was dying, but we've never gotten a comprehensive report on what happened with that specific transaction. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Let me just very quickly, Speaker, honorable members, that remind the House that that bill was withdrawn by this House. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to the next question. Honorable Mureu, these papers have got no authentication. There is no indication where they're coming from. And for now, I'll disallow them. If you find a way to have them authenticated as to their source, their content, their veracity, and their accuracy, then we'll deal with it. Next question, Mark Mwenje. Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Muriu has made a very serious claim against an investor seeking opportunity to invest in the country in our constrained economy. And Honorable Speaker, is not a light matter. Understanding Order number 91, if you cannot duly substantiate the claims you make, then that claim, number one, must be expunged from the records. But number two, Honorable Speaker, the maker of that unsubstantiated statement must withdraw and apologize. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because I have information that while Honorable Muriu Mungai is saying this Adani company cannot engage in any investment in this country, as we speak, this company is engaged in very big infrastructural projects, including in New South Wales, Australia. Mega projects, mega and bigger than this one here. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have a situation where we as leaders of a country operating in this difficult economic environment come, throwing rumors there about entities which should be investing in our country. And that is the platform of public-private partnerships. The idea that we don't have our own money to do everything in terms of development we want to do. And so we invite people who can invest and benefit the public as we go along. Honorable Speaker, even if it were to be said that this company had a problem in some country, as leaders, it can only alert us to secure our deal and to secure our national interest better, not to exclude. So this rumor mongering, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request you that having been confirmed, and it is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Muriu, who is a prominent lawyer, senior lawyer, can come before this August House with newspaper cuttings whose motive you never know. From Wamunyoro, I don't know which
I don't know what
newspaper.
Wamunyoro is.
Honorable
you've
Speaker,
made
could
your
it
point.
be expunged from record because it has a
I have
company
already
which we would
directed
rather
that
deal with.
the documents as they are, and from advice from the table clerk, they are inadmissible. We go to the next question, and Murea, I've told you what to do if you want to be believed. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before I ask my question, Honorable
I'll
Speaker.
move to the next question. On the same issue? Okay. Honorable TJ Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, you know...
Can you mute Mwenje? Yes.
You know the member for Homa Bay is my law partner, and I always don't disagree with him on very serious issues. But as a ranking member, as I am, and I heard that from the Deputy Speaker, is it in order that members of this House should talk down other members on issues which are substantial, which are being spoken both outside and inside, to refer that members are rumor mongering? Whether it is a newspaper, no newspapers are allowed, if in Speaker's wisdom, Speaker may allow certain information, including newspaper reports. That is what I know about. I'm just wondering, for the decency of debate in this House and for the respect that members have on each other, a gentleman such as a member for Wakili, as he is, should a whole presiding officers face him and tell him that he is rumor mongering when actually he is stating issues which are both passionate in this House and outside. That is the context of my
Thank you, TJ. I've already given direction on the matter, and Wakil Mureo, being a senior lawyer, knows what to do with his documents. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the 14th question by private notice of this year. Could the Cabinet Secretary, one, provide a comprehensive report on the amount disbursed to KERA for the financial year 2023-2024 as of September 2024 for Nairobi County, and the measures being taken to address the audit delay? Second question, give reasons for the delay in full disbursements of the road maintenance levy funding during the financial year 2023-2024 for Nairobi City County to the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA. Honorable Speaker, as the CS rises to ask, we had requested last time to expand this question, not just to apply to Nairobi City County, but to the entire country as well, with your indulgence. Thank
Minister.
Honorable Speaker, allow me not to repeat the question, but to respond that Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, received a total of 42,101,040 Kenya shillings per constituency, countrywide under the 22% RMLF. That is the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, financing for the financial year 2023-24, including constituencies in Nairobi County, which of course total to 17. And when you compute what was received and dispersed to Nairobi, it totals to 715,717,680 Kenya shillings for that 22% RMLF. The amount, Speaker, honorable members, however, falls short of the initial budgeted amount of 44,522,070 shillings per constituency, as earlier guided by Kenya Roads Board, ceiling for the financial year 23-24. The variance arose due to actual RMLF collection falling short of the projected amounts by a margin of 5.4% per constituency, which totaled to 2,421,030 Kenya shillings. And of course, the shortfall, honorable members, Speaker, is due to the amount of petroleum products that was consumed in the country. Speaker, honorable members, I have shown a table that details the disbursement received in the reporting year 23-24 and how we tranche that money and the shortfall that I've talked about. Similarly, under the 10% RMLF funding, the authority received 17,107,109 Kenya shillings per constituency, against a budgeted amount of 20,237,304, which was based on KRB ceiling provided for the year. The total amount received for the financial year under the 10% RMLF was therefore 290,820,853 against the expected funding of 344,034,168, representing a variance of 15.5%, honorable members. With respect to the table that basically articulate that 10% RMLF funding, I've shown that in that table where we basically showing the 10% RMLF that was released at 17,107,109 for each constituency as shown in the table. With respect to the second question, the Kenya Roads Board collects the road maintenance levy on a continuous basis and disperses to the recipient agencies through the ministry. The disbursement for the various agencies were done in a timely manner, and I wish to clarify that KERA, or Kenya Rural Roads Agency, dispersed funds on to the regional office based on what was received or what is received. The funds for Nairobi City County, honorable members, and all other constituencies were therefore remitted and will continue to be remitted promptly. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members.
Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the Cabinet Secretary for his response. Honorable Speaker, my follow-up is basically that these amounts for KERA have consistently been reducing. The fact that our committees went to the ground and budgeted even for these savings that were going to occur. Honorable Speaker, then how can the Cabinet Secretary guarantee that this will not repeat itself in the subsequent financial years, especially considering that the reduction that occurred and the notice that came out gravely affected projects that were going, contracts who had already committed to certain projects, and that means they are incomplete works that will remain as a result of the reduction of funds caused by the revised ceilings. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oloch. Member from Adani. Give Anton Oloch the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me make this follow-up question to the CS. What is the legal mechanism by which a ceiling which has already been committed to constituencies, work plans already done, and already some activities and advertisements being undertaken? How can the roads levy fund based on alleged reduced earnings then be able to ask constituencies that they will not be able to undertake these processes? I have a case in my constituency where, based on the savings that are now unremitted, we did a road up to 80% of it and is now at a standstill. Is there a legal mechanism by which you can be able to fall back and say that these were your ceilings, but we have now not collected enough? I think the minister should be able to come clean to avoid putting constituencies in roads that are being done to a certain extent and now will be left undone as white elephants. Thank you.
Dr. Mutunga. Minister will take.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my supplementary question is around the same money committed to pay for contracts that had already been issued. Honorable Speaker, I have a case in my constituency where a road was estimated to be done at around 4 million, and only 3 million was available. Then I go back to the apportionment of the money and the decisions made when the reductions were done. Did the ministry not take into account that committed money is already incurring a debt and therefore make provisions for this even as the reductions were to go on? Was that taken into account?
Thank you. Owundo.
Speaker, I think this issue of the 22% and 10% is now becoming a thorn in the flesh. Honorable Speaker, once the works are complete, assuming the entire disbursement was made, once the works are complete, there is what we call savings. Honorable Speaker, and I want to ask the CS to clarify, up to now, the so-called savings have not been remitted to the regional offices to enable us undertake and enable the CRC, that's the Constitutional Roads Committee, to undertake the other remaining works on the various roads. When is the savings going to be remitted to the regional offices to enable them complete the ongoing roads?
Yes, Nyenze. Let's take one more from Edith, then you answer. We go to the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine is a question, a supplementary question on Kera roads again. There was an advertisement which was done on the 22 and also 10% roads, I think about 2 weeks ago. Then after that, it was withdrawn. They say they have suspended that advertisement, and the advertisement which had gone out actually did not have the names of the constituencies. They did not even give us, as the members of parliament, the amount allocated. And in some instances, you are having a road which is touching on 2 constituencies. So you can't tell this belongs to my constituency or to the neighboring constituency. So my question is, why was this ANFAT suspended? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The supplementary question with respect to basically the works that had been advertised and on account of projected revenues, which was not met because of the shortfall on the 22% RMLF collection, which comes through the fuel collection. Honorable members, I was with the Committee on Roads and Transport last week, and this question was alive. And what we have done is to compute the savings on the actual contracts achieved vis-a-vis the budget that was allocated to every road. And my team, honorable members, which is here with me, are computing the savings to be able to address the shortfall and therefore mitigate the challenge that the members face over projects that had been advertised, committed, and works done. And as of yesterday, I think Kera did pass through the board the amounts due to the shortfall and will be dispersed shortly. I think that will address the question of the shortfall with respect to the challenge that arises when budgeting is not properly done. We'll need to really look at estimates on what we think we should be able to collect on RMLF due to the volume of petroleum that the country will consume and ensure that we do not run into this challenge. But as regarding the shortfall or whether the RMLF is reducing, I think in the subsequent questions we'll see the RMLF growing from 2019-2020 and progressively all the way to almost 100% growth by the year 2022-23. So the challenge of overestimating the revenues, going out to tender for roads on estimates that may not be achieved. We'll work very closely to ensure with EPRA and the people who give us the estimates for the petroleum products that will be consumed so that we do not get into that situation. But like I've said, as of yesterday, the board of Kera met and approved the shortfall based on the savings and will be able to mitigate that challenge. With respect to Edith Nyense's concern of the suspended advertisements which had gone out, I think we are going to re-advertise by next week. That's what I'm advised. And therefore, we'll be able to address that challenge. Let me, in the course of this sitting, I'll get more details. And if that is not satisfactory, I'll be able to address that. Thank you.
Kandia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 167 of 2023. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the criteria used by Kenya Road Sport to determine the amount of funds to allocate to each constituency? 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed analysis of monies that Kenya Road Sport has dispersed to all the 290 constituencies from the year 2019 to 2023? 3, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a comprehensive list of roads each of the 47 counties that Kenya Road Sport has allocated monies to in the recent past? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the question, Honorable Joshua Kandia. Honorable members, Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999 lays out how the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF, is allocated to the road agencies, more specifically Section 6, 2D1 and 2 of the KRB Act, that's the Kenya Roads Board Act, stipulates the following allocation to constituencies: 22%, honorable members, which shall be deposited into a special bank account to be called Constituency Road Fund Account, to be maintained by every constituency of the allocated funds, and is allocated equally to all constituencies in the country and to be administered by the Rural Roads Authority. Another 10% of the allocated funds is set and allocated for the maintenance of development of link roads between constituencies, like was mentioned by Honorable Edith Nyensa, and to serve as government counterpart funds in funding works on rural roads to be administered by, again, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and that the said percentage or percentage shall be equally distributed to all the constituencies, like the 22%, where Kenya Rural Roads Authority has the mandate. Honorable members, each constituency received RMLF funds in the last 4 financial years as shown in that table. I hope, honorable members, with respect to 22%, for the year 2019-2020, it was every constituency received 21,564,277. The following year, 2020-21, each constituency received the 22% portion at 22,642,491. And in the year 21-22, each constituency received 25,319,331. And in 2022-23, each constituency under the 22% received 42,598,809. And similarly, I have tabulated the receipt amount under the 10% critical link roads for the 4 financial years. And the totals, like I said, have moved progressively in 2019-2020 from 31,366,221 to 61 million in 2022-23 to 61,961,904, which is some good progression. Honorable members, Section 19(4) of KRB Act mandates the board to consolidate the annual roads works program submitted to it by roads agencies into annual public roads program. You will normally see the APRP for approval by the government cabinet secretary for roads and finance. The roads funded in each constituency are detailed in the approved APRP for KERA for the previous 4 financial years, which I've attached. And Speaker, allow me to table the annual roads works program as requested. This is the annual roads program, both from the year 2021-22, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 21-22, and 22-23, with all the annual work programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, other honorable members, before we go to the next, Honorable Elisha, order. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery 2 very distinguished ladies from the East African region, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, the Honorable Anita Among, otherwise known as Triple A, and the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Julia Acton, who is also the president of the IPU. The 2 speakers and speakers from other East African community states, Rwanda, Burundi, Republic of South Sudan, Somalia, and DRC are in Kenya attending a meeting of the Bureau of the Speakers of the East African Community, chaired by yours truly. And we have had a wonderful meeting this morning. Among other things is the expansion and integration of the people of the East African region in truly fostering free movement of people, goods, and services, moving towards monetary union, and broadening the integration of our region. On your behalf and on my behalf, I welcome the two speakers to the gallery of our parliament. Yes, Millie Odhiambo, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the delegation of the IPU in Kenya, I just wish to congratulate our president. And Kenya played a very significant role in ensuring that she was elected. And also on behalf of the women of this parliament, we are very proud when we see women speakers. And we are looking forward to the next speaker, we don't want to remove you, but the next woman speaker sitting there. So we are very happy to have them and welcome to Kenya. Thank you. Both of them are known to me and I'm very happy to see them both.
They are women, all right, but they are speakers out of their competence, beyond the agenda. KJ?
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And because you have already welcomed the very esteemed speakers, I would want to only put in one word, Mr. Speaker. One is to congratulate the ladies for being able to ascend not only to the apex of their parliaments, but also for great leadership in the continent, identifying that the Honorable Tulia Ackson is our IPU president, and Kenya played a very big role in ensuring that she secured the seat. Myself and the Honorable Millie Odhiambo were her chief campaigners, ensuring that she secures that seat. And through you, Mr. Speaker, we would just like to request that when you're having the deliberations, maybe you might want to whisper to your counterparts that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission. Maybe they might just get the message home that we are looking for that seat and they might want to support us. Just kurudisha mkono, Mr. Speaker. And I thank you truly for this opportunity. Asante sana.
For your information, in our bureau meeting, we acknowledge that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission, and we agreed that he is indeed a candidate from the East African region and shall enjoy the support of the East African region. Thank you. We'll go back to our questions.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am satisfied. However, I would allow
If you are
any
satisfied,
member.
there is no however. Let's go to the next question. The Honorable Gonzi Rai.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask question number 178/2023 and says, could the Cabinet Secretary